Hi everyone. We're going to do a quick technique here. A small little Father's Day plate, real simple, 2 colors, black lab, rock and red. I got a soft fan brush. I have a toothpick, and that's about it. Some cutout letters that say Rad Dad. That's it. I cut out the letters ahead of time. And I put 3 coats of black lab already on here. So the technique I'm going to show you, you don't have to see the coats of black going on. So I've got this rock and red, and I'm going to use this soft fan brush. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to load that fan brush. I'm going to take this paper towel and roll it up into a ball because I want to give it some texture. But before I do that, I have to put my letters on. So what I'm going to do is, I don't know if you've done this paper technique before, but this is just regular copy paper cut out on the silhouette machine. And I'm going to put the letters here. I am going to put these, because it says Rad Dad, I don't want them to be perfect. So I'm going to kind of put them, off-center them, so that they're a little bit different. And they don't look so, like I said, perfect. You're going to need a small sponge to kind of tap it down, make sure it goes on there good. Now, so it's wet. As you can see, it's, I'm dipping it in, wetting the paper, putting it down so that you can see the water that's in it, okay? Same thing with these letters. I'm going to make them so that they're a little bit off-centered, So once I get them on there, they're wet, they're laying on the plate, then you just want to kind of tap it so it ain't, tons of water all over it, okay? And you're going to let that dry a little bit. Okay, you see it's down pretty good. I make sure sometimes with my fingers that I have that down good, because you don't want it to come up and you don't want it to leak underneath. It's usually pretty good. This is a real simple, like I said, this is simple. I'm just letting this dry a little before I go to the next step. Because we're going to put this red on. When we put the rock and red on, I'm going to put it on kind of heavy because it's only going to be 1 coat on there. And then I'm going to, while it's still wet, I'm going to, do this to, pull back some of the red, and so it'll show black in the background too. So it's kind of, you'll see it's like a textured. It looks really nice when you fire it like that. And then we'll peel off the letters. Okay, so now I'm going to put this, I just want to make sure this is dry enough that it's not going to, come off on the red, with the red. Okay, so now I'm going to put this on. Remember, we're putting it on heavy. You can see I'm putting it on heavy enough so that I don't want it to dry really too quick, okay? Because I want to still use that ragging technique where it's not a rag, it's a paper towel, but I want to be able to use that and pull some up so you can see the black. But I still want to see red when it comes out of the kiln. I don't want it to be too black, so that you can't see the red, showing up. I want the contrast, so that's why I'm putting it on kind of heavy like this. You can see it's not drying too quick just because it has another color underneath. It's not going right on this, so of course it has that other color, and that's keeping it from drying. It's going to dry a little slow, which is a good thing. So remember, you want enough color on there. See if I'm going to make it. I think it's thick enough. Okay, so you can see how thick that kind of is on there. Now I'm going to take my paper towel. You might need a couple of them. And you're going to do this. See, so you're going to see that black. Keep moving the paper towel around because you don't want it to, just put the red back on. Now I'm going to get another paper towel. Make sure it's kind of like a ball. So just move it around, that's going to give you that texture. you know, hold the side of it. I'm going to do over here so that before it dries. Once it starts drying in, the texture thing doesn't work. So, get another one. You go through a little bit of paper towels doing this, but it's okay. And more. You know, if you're doing a big plate like this and you want it to look like this, then you're gonna have to do it in sections, because once it starts drying, you could see it's not gonna come off as good. That black's not gonna show up underneath because you're not gonna be able to get it off, because it won't pull up with the rag. Oh, see, now I pulled up the letter, which is good because I'm done. And now I'm gonna either use a pin or even the toothpick, as long as you can get it off. You know, you're going to take your letters off. And I'm going to get a pin. So, you're going to get your letters. Once the plate dries, you can always see the letters when you do this paper thing. You just want to be careful when you're patting the, you know, with the paper towel. You want to make sure you don't take your letter up before your letter's up before, you know, you're done, before you're finished, because then you're going to put red back in there. So that's all it says. So it's a very, very simple plate. Now, what I'm going to do to make this a little bit more interesting, instead of keeping it all red, I want a little bit of a black rim. So I'm going to take a little bit of this red on the edge to give a little black trim. Now, you can see I've got to go very lightly because I don't want to take it down to the bisque. I just kind of want to give it, even if it's like still a little red in there, I just want to kind of even off that edge. Do you see what I'm doing? So just a little bit. So you're going to go very lightly. If you rub too hard, you're going to end up rubbing it down to the bisque. You're going to have to put the black back on there. I don't want to have to do that, so. Okay, so you see you got the black edge. Now you got the black edge. Now, the reason I got the toothpick is because if I want to now, I can make, where is my toothpick? Here it is. So now that I got the toothpick, now if I want to, you know, do this up a little bit more and do some other things to it, I can take the toothpick and do that wet etching where, you know, I can take, I'm just going to do something for instance here. I can take this and draw a line just to the black. Now this part is easier when, you know, if the underneath is dry, if the black underneath is dry, it's easier to use the toothpick and do wet etching. But so I'm going to do this, and I'm going to make it look like a little fishing pole, and I'm actually going to put a little fish on it like this. Okay, and to make the fishing pole a little bit more looking like a fishing pole. Okay, it's just got to be a little line, but that's what I did. So you can do something like that. You can put a wave around the edge. You can do whatever you want with it. If you want to use the toothpick to put some little things in it, or little fish all around it, whatever you want to do. You can put your, you know, love David, or whatever you want to put. You can put like down here, you know, the child can scratch it in and put their name on it. That's it. That's about it. Very simple technique. Hope you try it. Catch you later.